Hi, my name is Candace, and today I'm going to be making pecan pie. Today's assignment asks us to make a dish that reminds us of home and a traditional item in our culture. And for me, we ate pecan pie all the time. We had it at church events, family events, holidays, and even just a regular Sunday dinner, a dessert to go with the meal. Um, Pecan pie was a favorite of my dad's. We had a family friend growing up who had a big pecan tree, and so we would just go out there, me and my brother, and gather as many pecans as we could. And one of our tasks was to crack all the pecans and then, dice them up or chop them real fine, and then have some big ones to go on the top. So as I got older, my love for pecan pie grew deeper. After college, I moved to Charleston, South Carolina, and I worked as a pastry cook in a couple different bakeries and restaurants. And one of the really popular dishes down there is the derby pie. And derby pie is kind of a twist on a pecan pie. Derby pie has pecans, but it also has chocolate and bourbon. So today I'm going to do maybe a cousin of the two pies. So it's going to be like a pecan pie, traditional, but I'm going to add Kahlua and some Mexican vanilla to give it a little flavor. I like Kahlua just for the sweetness that it brings to it, and I like that coffee taste to go with the butter and sweetness of the pecan pie. So pecan pie is a really easy pie to make. Really, all you need is a pie shell. So I prefer to make my own pie dough, and I do that in bulk usually, and I just throw it in the freezer. So I always have pie dough in hand. You never know when you need it for a chicken pot pie or quiche or pecan pie. So I have that in the freezer, and I'm going to roll it out, and I am going to do the filling. So the filling is really simple. Add 3 eggs. Whisk it really well so that you don't have any streaks. Okay. Then you just add the, right here I already added the corn syrup and the melted butter together. Pour it in. You may want to get a spatula because corn syrup is not always the easiest thing to get out. A little tip for corn syrup is to spray your container, especially for the glass one, but any container really, with cooking spray. And it'll make the corn syrup come out really easily. This doesn't just work for corn syrup, it also works for things like molasses and honey, anything that has a real high viscosity. Okay, so I got the corn syrup and the butter added. And once again, give it a good whisk so that everything's nice and smooth. Alright, next you want to add the brown sugar. And that's a whole cup of brown sugar. It's really important that you watch the recipe to see if it says to pack the brown sugar or to just, measure it, because that will give you a different yield. So, added my brown sugar. Now I'm going to add some salt. And I love salt in any of my desserts just to cut some of the sweetness, and also because the type of butter I use is unsalted, so I can really control how much I want to add. Alright, so next you do the vanilla. So I'm just going to add 1/2 teaspoon since I'm going to be adding Kahlua. I'm going to add a whole teaspoon of Kahlua because I like a little liquor in mine. You can add as much as you want or as little as you want. You don't have to use a liquor, but I prefer to. And there are a lot of desserts that pair well with alcohol. So like an apple pie pairs really well with bourbon also, and sometimes whiskey too. Peach cobbler pairs really well with some fruity liquors. I made a chocolate cake with Grand Marnier, so it added a little sweetness to a really heavy cake. So So I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon. And for a lot of things, I just go by how it looks and how it tastes. I don't always measure my cinnamon. Alright, so that's all. You can see that it's a, well, hopefully you can see, it's a nice smooth mixture. And what you're going to do is you're just going to pour that over the pecan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out the pie dough, and then I'll come back over here and show you the pie and the pie dough in the dish, and then I'm going to pour the pecans in, and then pour the actual filling on top. So hold on. So I poured the pecan filling into the pie shell. The next thing I'm going to do is just going to stick in the oven for about 50 minutes. About 45 minutes in, you can jiggle the pan and see if the center is firm. So I'm going to actually put the pie on a baking sheet. Alright, and it's going in the oven, so I'll see y'all in about 50 minutes. And here's the final product, the finished product. There you go. Pecan pie is hot out the oven, so it took about 50 minutes to finish. Like I said, just jiggle it and make sure it doesn't move too much. And another thing, when adding liquor to baked goods, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to set and to cook all the way. But yeah, so here's my pecan pie with some Kahlua. I hope that y'all get to try this recipe sometime.